Hi, this is Nancy Yearout, and welcome to my show, High Road to Humanity. In every episode, I tell you powerful true stories filled with great wisdom that you can use in your own life as you strive for a higher road to travel. My featured guests will have their own unique stories to tell that enlighten your mind and your soul. So kick back, relax, and learn the secret to success when you take the high road.
First touch, strong connection, it lays deep in your soul.
Hi, this is Nancy Yearout, and welcome to High Road to Humanity. And I have one of my favorite guests on today. She's been with us before. Her name is Colette Lafia, and she has a book called Comfort and Joy, Simple Ways to Care for ourselves and others, which is something we all can use right now. So this is what it looks like. We're going to talk about this today. Remember to subscribe to the channel because it helps me, and share this show with people because there's a lot going on in the world right now. And this is why we're doing this show, to see if we can help people a little bit. Before I bring her on, there's just so much going on this morning. I have to talk about this. You know, I do news with Nancy, but this is out of hand. I'm going to read the headline and then I'm going to tell you what I think intuitively. U.S. troops will have to begin Afghanistan pullout Friday. So today is Tuesday. I'm going to put this show up right away. So they have to pull out on Friday, which is crazy. Taliban says it won't extend. So we're negotiating with terrorists. I want you to realize this. We're negotiating with the Taliban now. Apparently, a spokesman for the Taliban said Tuesday that August 31st deadline won't be extended. So they're telling us what we're going to do. The U.S. officials said Tuesday that the military would have to start pulling out of Afghanistan starting this Friday in order to meet President Biden's August 31st deadline agreed to by the Taliban. Now, Taliban spokesman, if I botch this, Sabahullah Mahabed said during a Tuesday press conference, the deadline won't be extended. He also claimed he is not aware of any meeting between CIA Director William Burns and Taliban leader Muhammad Abdul Ghani Baradar, but did not deny that such a meeting took place. So what they're saying is that our CIA director, William Burns, met with them to talk about this. So a decision from the White House to extend the thing. Anyway, that goes on. There's a couple things I want to say. First of all, whether you voted for Biden or not, this is a bad situation. This was not well thought out. There are Americans in there who can't get out. Now Taliban is telling us what we're going to do. Instead of us going in there and getting all of our people out first, then pulling the troops out, and then maybe bombing the airports. Because here's the thing, they're ending up with all of our equipment. Okay. And they're also bringing, you guys, you need to know this. They're bringing these Afghanistans over to air bases in Texas, thousands. And these are people who are going to be integrated into our communities. And these people are not vetted by any means. Now, the weird thing for me is, and I'm just going to say this, and I hate to go on too long about it, but why did we bring these Afghanistans over and not get our own people out first? You know, the French they're over there, the Italians, everybody's over there getting their people out, but we're not. We're taking the people from Afghanistan. It's their country. The Taliban is saying, well, leave our people because we don't want them to go. And the Americans are stranded. I don't care what anybody says. They can't make it to the checkpoints to get to the airports. They won't open the other airport. So to me, this is just a bad deal. Now, why are we bringing over people who could belong to the Taliban into our country? Why are we allowing this to happen? And you guys, we have to stand up. This is a big deal because here's the deal. Once August 31st rolls around, I'm just going to predict, this is my intuition talking, it's just all hell's going to break loose because now they have an open door because the United States has appeared weak in this whole situation. And I just feel like it's an open door and it's just going to be chaos and we're going to have to watch our backs. And this is nuts and we need to do something about this. And I tell people, stand up, call your congressman, say something, don't be quiet about this. And the other thing I want to say not to be quiet about is they're saying that we have to take this vaccine and we don't. This is not medical advice. I am not giving you medical advice, but you don't have to do. You can say no. Okay. We all have the ability to say no. All right. That's my tangent for today. Colette, do you want to say anything before before I read your bio?
No, but it just shows how, on so many levels, the people are not feeling stable and
No.
safe. And so I'll talk more about that as we share today.
Yeah, I mean, and this is a perfect time to do this because there are a lot of people who have family members over there, and I have no words. I mean, they're going to be left behind. And that's the saddest thing I can ever imagine is to be left behind. And, you always counted on the US.
Mm.
And it's like we can't do it anymore. And it's the craziest thing. Anyway, I'm really glad you're here, Miss Colette. She's a spiritual director. She does workshops. She's a retreat facilitator. She's a writer. And she's also a part-time school librarian. And she's the author of Seeking Surrender, How a Trappist Monk Taught Me to Trust and Embrace Life and Comfort and Joy, Simple Ways to Care for Ourselves and Others. She has a sincere passion for helping people connect more deeply with the presence of the sacred in their lives, in their daily lives. And she blogs about it on her website, which is Colette Lafia.com. Welcome back to the show,
Thank you,
Colette.
Nancy. And last time, folks, we did talk about my newest book, The Divine Heart.
I
And so
know
I
we did,
am so
but
happy.
this was good too.
Yeah, so nice to be able to share that with you today.
Yeah, honestly. Well, this you wrote, and I'll just say this and then you can talk about it. You wrote this back in 2008 when your father had passed.
Yeah.
And he got to read it before he died. Talk about this.
Yeah, that
When
was
you
really, really lovely because, when you talk about comfort, you talk about being able to receive people's care, people's tenderness towards you. And my father was always quite a hard man. And so it was really lovely at towards the end how he received more comfort from us and care, and he softened so deeply. And so the message of the book to soften and receive the love and care that people want to offer you around you was really powerful to see, almost a transformation it made in him.
Well, a lot of times, and I can identify that with that, when you're a business person, you come across strong and it's hard to soften sometimes for people.
Yeah, I mean, I think for all of us it is. And you did mention that I'm a part-time school librarian, and I still am doing that. And I just
You?
returned to in-person school.
Okay.
And there's just so much tension there. I mean, there's so much heart and love for the children, but there's so much anxiety about just all of our well-being and how to be in this landscape together, and the need to just soften, to be
Mhm,
present to each other, to
mhm.
be a community of love and compassion and care, and to come back to that as a community is so important right now among people,
Mhm.
to almost bring back our humanness.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like, I don't know, just talking about this stuff, it's all political and where's the heart in all of it? I mean, they forgot about the heart and these are people. I guess here's my biggest thing, Colette, and you can tell me what you think. I feel like the human life, like our life, has so much value, but it's been devalued. Do you feel like that?
Yeah, no, and the sad thing is it's our so many of our institutions have kind of dehumanized us and have really just failed. I mean, I
Yeah.
see it myself, like working in public education. I mean, for example. So I
Mhm.
really feel like you were saying in the beginning that individuals have to rise up and
Yeah.
kind of reclaim. This is really the time almost for the individual to get her power back, get his power back, and
Mhm.
get voice back, and not give it to these institutions anymore.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it just goes to show, and again, whether you voted for Joe Biden or not, it shows that we don't have leadership. We don't have proper leadership, and they're not looking out for the people. I think that's the biggest part that really gets me. It's all like about money and it's all about power and it's all about politics. But it used to be, and it started out to be, the United States was by the people and for the people.
I know, and it's so much of it is us taking that back. And
Yes.
so how do we kind of just do that on a very personal, individual level, which is in some ways really what my book is about, is
Hmm.
showing like you have the power every day to extend compassion to somebody, extend comfort to somebody, take a
Right.
moment to listen, to care, to attend to. And you have that. Nobody can take that away from you.
Hmm.
And that makes a strong community in
It
order
really
to,
does. Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. Let's talk about, I want to get into the book and we got about 3 minutes, but I want to just kind of start with the beginning. Excuse me. And you talk about comfort practices and you talk about a comfort journal, which I really believe in journaling. And I always tell the audience I journal every morning. Of course, I journal to God. I'm like, every day, dear God. And we have our little time together. And that's what I do. But, everybody can do whatever they feel comfortable with. But you say, pick out a journal that you like, something that feels like it's pretty or it feels good that you're going to write in. And then you say, this was interesting, and I don't do this, and I'm going to start. You say drawing tools, use pens, pencils, markers, oils, pastels, crayons. That's kind of cool. Why do you say that? Why do you tell
No,
people to
I
do
don't
that?
have a sample of one here, but maybe during the break, because what I found is, you can listen in a different way by just making marks, making little marks, like certain feelings come out. Sometimes I'll draw before I write, and it'll bring
Oh,
me to a deeper place. And I'm not drawing like rendering a perfect tree. I'm
right.
maybe drawing colors or circles or feeling in my body or a mood or a feeling. And
Yeah.
me, I've loved it. It's awakened kind
Yeah.
of new insights and new
Yeah.
energy in me.
I like that. I'm going to do that. Well, listen, we got to go to commercial break. We're going to talk more about the journal and what we're going to go through a lot of these things. I have a lot of places marked that I'm going to read you guys
Yeah.
because it's a really fantastic book. It's called Comfort and Joy, Simple Ways to Care for Ourselves and Others. This is a perfect time for this book. I know it's a little older and you've revised it, but I mean, this is something that I think people can keep by their bedsides. It's by Colette Lafia. This is Nancy Yearout. This is High Road to Humanity, and we'll be right back. Hi, this is Nancy Yearout, and this is High Road to Humanity. I'm here today with Colette Lafia. Colette, we were talking about journaling, and you went and grabbed some of your journals, and I talked about journaling with God, and you were going to talk about that a little bit.
So, like Nancy, that is one of my go-tos, because it keeps that relationship with the divine active and alive and immediate. It's not
Mhm.
as though God is something outside. God is something that we're relating to right here, right now, very intimate, very alive. So I love the letters, and I love actually, I'll write a letter to God, and I actually have the habit of letting God write a letter to me, because
Oh,
then I get interesting insight like, oh, that's how you see it. Like the
well, how do
divine,
you do that? How do you do that,
just
Colette?
like I'll do dear God and I'll do, and then I'll
Yeah,
be like, dear Colette or dear one or my dear daughter. And I'll just write.
whatever comes to you.
Yes. And
Yeah.
it comes from another part of me. And it's really I'll get some lovely insight or yeah, I'll get insight or reassurance or maybe an affirmation or maybe even a call. As we were
Okay.
saying, how do we listen to our call to action? And
Hmm.
this is one way of becoming more intuitive, getting deeper into our deepest self,
Yes.
and in dialogue with the divine energy.
Hmm. Well, show us your
Yeah, so I
journal.
wanted to say that. So what I'm saying is I'm not doing rendering. So
Oh,
I'm just doing drawing. And then
love
I'm
it.
letting God kind of speak to me, like, let me fill out the space, see me more. So that was God kind of talking to me.
Ah,
And then I'll write more about it. And then just, I mean, see, so it's not fancy
oh,
drawings,
that's
but they're
cool
ways
though.
of communicating.
You're expressing yourself. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. And so here, just writing about some fears, some doubts from self-judgment, and God inviting me to soften that, to let that go. Or
Hmm.
even just this one. So I encourage, or even look at that, just a little red mark. So it's
Yeah.
nothing fancy, my friends, but it does let another energy flow through you. And
Yeah.
so I just look at, I mean, this is nothing fancy.
Yeah.
But I love it because it's another way. And I just keep some simple
That's cool.
markers, simple simple coloring pencils, and I'll just keep them in a tray that's open right by my journal. And so it's not a big deal. I just integrate it very simply. And I
Right.
have so many other ones. So I just want to
Oh,
encourage
wow.
people to
I love
play.
it.
And let it be playful. You know,
Yeah.
God is saying to me, live my love. So that was the message
Live my
I
love.
got,
I
you
like
know,
that. Yeah.
or you're not alone. Like, so just do a little doodle and then just let a word or a phrase inspire you from what you drew. And working with children, I see the freedom that they give themselves. And I think
Hmm.
this is so important. This is part of comforting yourself, is listening to your voice, giving yourself more freedom for expression, being on your own team.
That's wonderful advice. Well, and then you say, I wrote all this down. I thought it was cool because sometimes people don't know. So, safe place to keep your journal, keep it in the same place every day,
Yeah.
somewhere safe. And I'm real private, so I don't mind by reading my journal. So,
Yeah. And many people have that. So I think
yeah,
that's a really important part of journal writing is to create safety for yourself around it, whatever that
yeah.
means. Whether that means you like to keep it in a drawer every day and then take it out during your private time, or whether you have your own little sacred space, or even
Mhm.
if you want to have a box where you put it in a box, you know, so that it's closed. Because the most important thing is to give yourself safety. That will give you freedom for expression.
Right. Then you're not afraid to write what you really
Your
feel.
real
Right.
truth. You know how
Yeah.
people hold back.
Yeah.
So you want to find a way to release, open up, hear your whole self, bring your
That's
whole self to God. Mhm.
that's wonderful advice, Colette. Wow. And then you say create a natural a place where you write or like a ritual. I'm sorry, I can't even read my own writing today. You guys create a ritual to write the same time. Like I write in the morning. It's like I'm a creature of habit. I don't know. And so everybody's different. Some people write at night. Or you can write in the middle of the afternoon, I guess. But you say create a time when you do it.
Yeah, because I do think if you ritualize it through time, or I think I also mentioned maybe light a candle or
Hmm.
maybe bring a cup of tea. This way it signals to yourself that this is special.
Hmm.
And it also makes it enjoyable because what you enjoy, you will continue to do.
That's
What
true.
feels like a chore, you will not do. So make it enjoyable, make it like cozy, make it comforting for yourself. You have your journal, you might have your candle, you might do a few breaths before just to open up. You might read something that inspires you.
I love that. Well, and I had to just said to myself, okay, I'm going to do it first thing in the morning. So I get my coffee and I grab my little notebook, and I've gone through several. I've been doing this all year. And then I grab my book and my pen, I go outside with my cat and I write. And I do it before I do anything else, because if I did something else first, I wouldn't do it. And I know that about myself. That's just me. So, you have to do what you know, so you'll keep doing it. Now, you also say, look over your journal like we just did. Talk about
Yes,
that.
and I want to suggest that to people because
Yeah.
because sometimes you write things or you get insights, and in some ways they're somewhat fleeting, and you're on to the next thing because the day takes over. But
Right.
I have actually written many of my books through going over my journals, going through them, rereading them, maybe circling themes, maybe getting excited by something that seems to be emerging. So I really recommend to people to really take time to read a journal,
Yeah.
because a journal can keep giving to you. Oh, that's what I was thinking. Oh, that's what God was saying to me. That is the theme right now that's for me.
Right.
So, really, I invite you not to allow the journal to keep giving to you. It's very actually an important part that I think people overlook.
To go back and look at some of those things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and maybe circle things that still have energy for you, or circle things that, oh yeah, and you can see that's a theme for me. Oh, I've been working on that. Oh, that's
Mhm.
important for me. So you'll learn about yourself through that. And you'll learn how the spirit is moving in you and in your life by rereading it,
Mhm.
gaining more awareness. Mhm.
Yeah. Well, you see the progress you make too.
Yeah. Isn't that exciting?
Yeah, because I can look back now, not that I like to so much, but I look back and I look and I'm like, oh, I was, and you're at a whole different place. You're like,
Yes.
wow, look how far I've come.
Yes.
That's been my aha thing, is to see how
Right.
far, if you do it. How long have you been doing this, Colette?
Oh, I've been a journal writing since a kid. So I have some from
Really?
I was 12, writing
Oh my
about, hey,
God.
I went and had pizza with my friends. But and I've used it also
Oh.
a lot for healing,
Mhm,
as a healing part, as a place to hear myself, a place of intimacy. And as Nancy and I said, I also use it as a place to talk with the divine and connect with the divine energy. So I have been doing it a long time, my friends, and I encourage it,
mhm,
to people I work with.
mhm. Well, I encourage to write to the divine because it's what I've learned over the past couple years, and I'll just say this, and I want to know your thoughts. I've established more of a relationship with God, with a higher power, however you want to call it, the divine energy, the love. And when you do that, it changes you completely because you are not afraid as much, and you do, put yourself out, and you do start to hear the answers. What do you feel about that? Have you always
Absolutely.
done that, or?
Well, obviously through time, like you, that's probably changed and grown and shifted with your own
Mhm,
life. But that's why I actually think the journal is a great way to tap into that even more, because I believe I live my life in relationship to something, to
mhm,
source, to divine energy. And so I'm not just dangling here by myself.
right. In the book, you guys, she has these vignettes. I love that. Comfort vignettes. I'm going to read a couple. We got about 3 minutes, so I'm going to read one. Excuse me, if it's okay with you.
Oh,
I'm going to
lovely.
read. I just opened it up, and this is a cool book to keep if you're going through something next to your bedside, and just read one of these, or in the morning, whatever, because they're little 2-page deals, and I'll read this one to you. This is light. When I was a girl, I kept a flashlight near my bed and read by its light when my sisters were asleep. I was attached to that flashlight and found comfort in knowing that it was always within my reach. Now, whenever I go to a hotel, I always bring a flashlight and keep it on the bedside table. A flashlight, a candle, a crackling fire, light envelops us, holds us, embraces us. Light brings us comfort. In the morning, as a shaft of light streams into the bedroom and I recognize it's a new day, I receive the gift of life that the light brings. I think that's beautiful. That was really nice. And then she gives cultivating comfort. And this was just invite the beauty and comfort of light into your daily life. Take time to notice the golden light of the sun and the white light of the moon. This is pretty. Watch the way a shadow changes the depth and color of mountains. See the light reflecting in a pool of water or shimmering through the leaves of a tree. Can you find ways to bring more light into your home, either natural light, candlelight, or soft light? Let the comfort of light fill you. And then she gives a little journaling deal, and then a meditation and prayer. So we'll read more of this when we come back. The book is called Comfort and Joy, and it's Colette Lafia. This is Nancy. You're out. This is High Road to Humanity, and we'll be right back. This is Nancy. You're out. This is High Road to Humanity. I'm here today with my friend Colette Lafia. Her name is Lafia. If you're going to want to go to her website to visit her or to get her book, so it's Colette. Lafia. Okay. And if you guys want a psychic reading, I need to mention, go to my website, click on the book button, and you can book on my calendar. I'm having a great time. I've been booked a lot, but I do have some openings. So happy to help you guys. Just having a really, gosh, it's inspiring for me to do psychic readings for you guys. It's just been really awesome, to talk to different people and tune in and give them information. It's really rewarding for me. So anyway, I'm just excited. So if you guys want to book, do that. Colette, what's your favorite one in here to read? Is there a favorite that you have?
Um, I think I like all of them. They all serve different.
Yeah, there's like
Here's the
time,
one.
there's
Yeah,
timeout, there's
yeah,
sounds, there's
yeah.
rain. I mean, I don't know. Is there one you want to read or you want
I'll
me to
read
read?
Mothering.
Okay, read Mothering.
After my sister died of cancer and I began to suffer with insomnia, I spent more time talking with my mother. either on the telephone or while visiting her in Palm Springs. You're going to be just fine. It will pass, my mother told me again and again. Just hearing her reassurance gave me comfort. Mothering is a source of comfort at any age and in many forms. I feel it with my husband when he brushes my thick hair or makes blueberry pancakes for breakfast. I find it with a friend as she gives me advice over a long lunch of Caesar salads. A teacher's praise is mothering. A doctor's patience is mothering. A hairstylist washing my hair is mothering. A neighbor giving me lemons from her garden is mothering. There is a mothering quality in each of us, man or woman, and tapping into that, feeling that, can give great comfort. We find it in a tone of voice, in a touch, in words, in silence, and we find it in ourselves when we are alone. And then the cultivating comfort goes, mothering is something you need at any age. Can you expand your notion of how and where you can experience mothering? Self-nurture can be a generous form of mothering. So take a relaxing bath, or spend a few extra minutes brushing your hair, or treat yourself to a leisurely lunch. Can you find comforting ways to give yourself the love and patience you need right now? And then
That's
I do the
beautiful.
journaling and the meditation. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's really
beautiful.
talking about the feminine energy,
Hmm.
to balance ourselves with the need for the feminine energy, I think is really very important for our time right now.
Hmm.
And so this talks about a way of cultivating that in yourself and receiving it from other people. And so everyone has the feminine energy, the mothering energy, men and women both
Right.
have.
Well, don't you find, and I find this too, that we're so busy in our lives that we actually don't take time for ourselves?
Yes, and what I'm noticing, like I said, I'm at a school site and it's just, there's a certain strain there. And the need for self-care is important because it affects the way we are with other people. So this is another thing I really bring out in the book. This is not self-serving kind of,
Right, right,
self-care
right.
is you tend to oneself so that you can be more responsive to others. It's a circle. If you're running on empty, that is feeding the field with
Mhm.
negativity and draining. Even if you are giving, you're not giving from really a place that's nourishing for others.
Right.
So it's almost a self-responsibility to care for ourselves.
And I think we just don't do it enough. Like we don't
Oh,
take the time to take the bath and relax. And
or
she
to
talks
eat a
about,
lunch or to like eat
yeah,
a bit of flour. They sound like, oh, wow, that's so simple, but they're rich and
it's
they're
the simple
deep.
things. Yeah.
Yes. They're like
Yeah.
really savoring your tea or your coffee for a moment, or that moment you have in the morning with your journal and your coffee. That's such a rich moment. That's
Hmm.
really filling you up so you have more to give in your day.
Exactly. Well, and as I've been talking to people so much lately, it seems like I always ask people, what brings you joy? Because and I had somebody say that to me, and that's why I've kind of thought about this. I had somebody say, what brings you joy? You're not doing what brings you joy. I'm like, busy work, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But what brings me joy? What can I do once a week, every day, one thing that would bring me joy? And so it's a mindset. You kind of start to change your mindset, right? A little bit. And now I'm like, okay, what have I done this week, or what can I do to bring myself joy? Because we're always looking like outside of ourselves. Do you know
Yes.
what I mean? Talk about that,
Absolutely. I think
Colette.
your insight is brilliant, and I think that is such a simple question, but a powerful question that
Mm-hmm.
you're starting to ask yourself. And so much of the awareness and the change comes from a question, like you just
Mm-hmm.
did. Like, what brings me joy? So, what have you discovered,
Oh,
Nancy?
you're so cute. Let's see. So yeah, I go outside more than I have before. I like being outside and working in my garden and stuff. Yeah, and I love bookstores. And
Oh,
so I'm a book person, obviously. So yeah, I took the time this Sunday and I ran over to the bookstore and just picked out some stuff because it's like one of my favorite things to do.
I
you
love that.
know?
You know, it makes me
Mhm.
think that in your comfort journal or in your journal, you could actually make a list. So,
Yeah.
because sometimes we'll just feel so burnt out, we don't even know what will
What to
restore us.
do. Yeah.
That way, you might have a record like, oh, gardening, oh, the bookstore, oh, a bath,
Hmm.
oh, fresh fruit. It'll help
Yeah.
remind you, oh, a moment of quiet and prayer, lighting a candle can be
Hmm.
very comforting. Just that, just lighting a candle and taking a
Hmm.
moment to pause.
Or watching your favorite TV show and not feeling
Absolutely. I
guilty
talk about
about it.
that. Hmm.
Yeah, a lot of times people feel guilty. I've noticed about, watching old reruns. I had a lady tell me the other day, I was doing a reading and she's like, I watch my soap operas and that's what makes me happy. And I'm like, that's cool. Whatever does it for you, because we all need to kind of just have that fun time,
I
whether
agree.
it's watching a fun old movie or, taking the time to do it.
Yeah, I love that you said that. I mean, I have a vignette here called Time Out, and it does talk about,
Read it,
just
read it.
watching, because I think when my husband and I feel too much pressure from the demands of work, money, or keeping it together, we
Mhm.
take time out. We clear our schedules, make no plans, and let ourselves drift through a day. We'll start by having our tea and toast in bed, slowly and leisurely, reading books or the newspaper and chatting about anything and nothing.
Yeah.
Later, we might meander through the park on our bikes with no particular destination, stopping to look at the ducks in the pond or the wild ferns. By late afternoon, we'll take a nap and then end the day eating slices of pepperoni pizza while watching a favorite old movie like Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Yeah.
It's comforting to take time out in knowing this is what we need to do and in doing it. And then cultivating comfort, not putting any expectations on yourself, even for
Mhm.
an hour or an
Right.
afternoon, is a
Right.
simple way to bring yourself comfort. Can you find a way to clear your schedule and comfort yourself with time out? And you know what's so funny, my friends? I wrote this quite a while ago, and then just this past Saturday, you know what I did in the afternoon? We
What?
watched Breakfast at
Oh
Tiffany's.
my gosh, did you really?
Because
I
it
read that
reminded
one.
me when you said that, Nancy, like,
Uh-huh.
watch your favorite rerun. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely. That's so cool.
Yeah. Well, and I've gotten to where I used to feel guilty, if I sat down and watched TV, but now I don't. I'm looking to try to balance. I just want to say that it's a balancing game, because I'm always working or doing readings or doing the show and I do real estate and I'm just all, and who cleans my house? Me. So, so it's always like, oh my God, I've got all this stuff to do. But it's learning to, and it's hard because we've become in this world like go, 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 go. And now it's like I have to think about it, oh, I need to chill and it's okay and not feel guilty, I guess is you know what I mean?
Oh, yes. And you know, believe it or not, that is so important. And as I said, that actually feeds the field as well. That energy of slowing down and comforting yourself and laughing and taking a break is
Mhm.
actually good for yourself, but it also radiates that energy out from you.
Yeah.
It's it's really, I noticed being around kids, they actually like when you slow down and let them draw and just
Mm.
leisurely look at a book. I mean, they're actually looking for that energy of slowing down, of being present, of enjoying the simple things, as you said. It's so
Mhm.
important. But I know what you mean, that drive behind us, that
Yeah.
energy.
And
Oh,
yeah, and it's
out
hard,
of
but
balance. I totally agree. And I'm guilty of it too. I have to check
yeah,
myself here.
yeah.
That's why it was so nice that we actually decided to talk about this book. When I reread it, I was reminding myself, oh, I need this.
Mhm.
And they say you always write what you need the most.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, we're going to talk more about the book when we come back. She's got in here, and we're going to talk about applying the comfort in your daily life. Something we were just talking about, but I'm going to read some of the stuff. But anyway, the book is called Comfort and Joy. This is Nancy Earlt. This is High Road to Humanity. I'm here today with Colette Lafia, and we'll be right back. Okay. Hi, this is Nancy Yearout. This is High Road to Humanity. I'm here today with Colette Lafia. We're talking about comfort and joy. She was telling me, I'm telling her I'm going to write again. And I've written a book a long time ago called Wake Up, the Universe is Speaking to You, but I'm going to write a new one. It's in my gut. It's in my heart and soul. And it's about connecting with God. And so I'm going to write that. Yeah. She was encouraging me, you guys.
I think
Apply.
creating is really important, is being creative, expressing what's being revealed to us. And the whole act of creating, I have that vignette, I won't read it, but it's in the book, how comforting and how important it is.
Oh, no, read it. Read it, Colette.
So creating. Because for me, I just want to say, I wrote this book through such a painful time in my life. I mentioned before, my sister had just died of cancer. I went through
How old was she when she
was
died?
just 35. So we were young, and two sisters, and she
Oh my
left
gosh.
behind a little girl, and just the whole experience. So, that, and then I was going through very difficult time with my sleeping, and as well as my husband and I faced infertility, and didn't end up having children. So what's interesting is I wrote this book during a time of such deep discomfort. And so it was
Interesting.
almost like comfort was coming to me like a balm to heal me. So I really want to encourage people, if you're having a hard time, and tap into this, because this is actually a healing energy, because comfort deeply comes from the source of comfort. And so even though we're doing these actions, deep down below them, it's the hand of the divine touching you, comforting you, soothing you, wanting to heal you. And so I just wanted to mention that. So as Nancy was saying, maybe keep the book by your bed, read a little bit, activate that energy of comfort in you. Even if you're feeling, no way, Colette, I'm feeling so uncomfortable. This is the perfect time to try to connect and activate it, because it will soothe you. It will heal you. So let me just read a little bit of this one. It's called Creating.
Okay.
It is early morning, still dark outside. After tossing and turning for hours, I get out of bed and head to my art studio, which is tucked in the corner of the garage. I begin drawing, and as I press the charcoal into the white surface of the paper, I feel the warmth of comfort spread through my body. The intimacy of working with my hands softens my hardened bones, melting away the thick layer of tension that had built up during the restless night. The morning light begins to appear, gracefully and deliberately, like a dancer. And in that mood of awakening, I am drawing without hesitation. Pure instinct, trusting every mark, a smudge, a smear, thick dark lines, thin gray lines. The drawing is already in me as I open my hands to receive it. I draw as a way of listening to something I cannot hear otherwise. I sometimes close my eyes when I draw and sink into not knowing. I feel the sensation of the charcoal pressing on the paper, sometimes with a feather light touch and other times with a forceful drag. It is in the listening that comfort can be heard. It is in a private moment of surrender that comfort can be received.
Beautiful. That was beautifully written.
Yes. So these were little poetic moments
Yeah.
that I wrote. Yeah. Almost
That
like
was
mini
beautiful.
little prayers.
Yeah. Well, and that's so nice. And it is comforting. I mean, there's a lot of people who have had loved ones pass, whether it's from this COVID-19 or whether, they've got people just, or just, because you had a mother or a father or a sister or someone pass, that would be so difficult. My sister passed a few years, my gosh, it's been 10 years. I can't believe it's been that long. And, but I know she's around and I think about her all the time. And it's hard when you have a sibling, pass.
Yeah, it's isn't it? It's because they're such a part of you.
Like you remember all the things you grew up with and everything,
Yes, all the little things. Like my sister, she was a little older. She was the one who used to give me the bubble bath. you know,
Oh,
so
okay.
all these little intimate moments that you remember sharing together, or sharing
Yeah.
clothes together, sharing your stories of your boyfriends together, just you have so many stories together. They're a real
Mhm.
part of you. Yeah,
Now, are you close to her daughter still?
very much. You
Yeah.
know, in many ways, I took that. I was honored. I committed
Yeah.
myself to that. And I'm so
Yeah.
glad that I have done that over the
Yeah.
years.
How funny.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm pretty close. I'm close to my niece for that reason too. Because
Yeah,
yeah, she
yeah,
needed that.
and it's so beautiful, isn't it? It's a beautiful.
Mhm. I wanted to talk a little bit about this, applying comfort in your daily life, and this is part of the book, and gestures of comfort. And I'll just go through a couple of these. Practice small gestures of comfort. Write a note to a friend. I like that for a recent accomplishment, or call your grandmother on a Sunday afternoon, or make a pot of soup and invite a friend for lunch. Offer to pick up something from the grocery store for the elderly neighbor, or light a candle for someone who needs your prayer. I mean, those are really nice things. You go on. I mean, send a card, a note, or an email to comfort someone. Remember a special occasion. It's those little things that you do for people. And I want you to talk about this, but I always feel like just smiling at somebody.
Oh, for me, I think that is such a core practice of comfort, actually, and compassion and humanity,
Mhm,
is that connection through a smile. I really agree with that.
mhm.
And
And
so I,
it's hard with these masks that they have us put on. Yeah. And no, I just want to say that because as I'm saying it, I'm thinking, well, wait a minute, I could smile at people, but now I can't because now there's a mandate in our state. But I will say this, when you're smiling behind the mask, somebody knows.
yes, and I love that you're saying that because it's an energetic.
It is.
It is a
It is.
feeling. And you can how they say you can read the eyes?
Yes.
You can
Yes.
feel that too. So there's,
Hmm.
when I'm at school with the kids and they're all waving at me and they have the mask, but I can
Oh,
feel their
gosh.
smiles and their little joy, and I share that back to them. I love
I
that you
think
said
that's
that,
wonderful.
so not to, even though we're wearing masks right now, not to withdraw your humanity from other
Yeah.
people. That's what you're really reminding folks to do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Yeah.
because this is the time we need it more than any other.
Yeah.
You also write, share a bouquet of flowers with different people who walk into your life. This can be a spontaneous and unplanned something, just
That is
something
actually
you
really
felt.
fun. I have done that
Yeah.
where I've gotten a bouquet and I put it on my table, and then I started seeing people say, "Oh, that's so beautiful." And I was like,
I'll
"Okay,
take
here,
one.
have one."
Ah!
And then before I knew it, I was like, "I know that person was really having a hard day. I'll go bring her one." And that was, to tell you the truth, it's interesting how that lifts your spirits too.
Mhm.
It's
To
really,
see the joy on their
yes,
face when you're doing
yes.
that.
So when you talk about joy, enlivening joy in yourself and in the atmosphere and with people around you.
Yeah, and when you are joyful and you have that joyful energy, it is contagious, you guys. And this book, I will say, even though if you're going through tough times, it will bring you out of that. And that was your intention, I believe,
Yes,
behind this, Colette.
I really, really, really do believe it was like not to sink, so I
It
wrote this.
saved you.
Yes, it did. And that's what I do love about writing. Each one of my books have been such a healing journey for me, and they continue to give to me. And I am so grateful to continue to allow this book to give to others. So I'm so grateful that Nancy invited me to talk about this book. And even though I wrote it in the past,
No,
its message is so current. And it's sort of evergreen because this is something that I really believe is so important for us to be mindful of at this point in time right now.
right. Even if you haven't had somebody pass, this is uplifting,
Yes,
actually.
yes, yes.
It kind of makes you go within and it makes you think about things. Now, what's the reaction been from this one? Have you
So this
still,
book was very well received, and it won an award at the time that I wrote it. What was interesting, it won an award from a spirituality press, and
right?
they called it the spirituality of nurturing, and I think
Oh,
that's really lovely framing of it, to think about spirituality as nurturing ourselves, nurturing others, nurturing the planet, nurturing our communities. And as Nancy mentioned before, oh, you could leave it by your bedside. That's the kind of response I've had. People have kept it in their purse because it's very easy and quick to read. You could just do it as part of your morning routine, because I do have journal entries in here. So as Nancy said, she journals in the morning. You could read one of these and use one of the journaling prompts that are right
Yes.
there on the page. And
Yes.
so, and you could flip to any page with it. So, and then the most touching story was a spiritual director friend of mine was working with an elderly person who went into assisted living, and she kept the book by her bedside, until she passed. And
Wow.
and I don't even know if she really read everything, but just having the word comfort there in the book
Yeah.
was just fed her soul. And
Wow.
so it's been really touching, and I think it's had a healing effect and an uplifting effect. And this is really my prayer and my hope that it can continue to radiate and do that.
Right. I agree. Hey, listen, I'm going to do something I usually don't do, but I'm going to say a quick prayer. And I'm
Mm.
going to say it for humanity. So if you guys want to say it with me, dear Lord, we ask that you bring us comfort and joy during this terrible time that we're experiencing in our world. And we ask that you enter all of our hearts and make us aware of your presence and establish a relationship with those who have not met you yet. And so we ask that everybody meet you and that we all experience love and joy. And we thank you for our days, and we thank you for letting us be here on the planet. And we ask this in the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Amen.
Oh, beautiful. Amen. Thank
Yeah, we need a prayer today. Thank
you.
you for
Thank
coming.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Really, this really comforted me and encouraged me, Nancy. That's one thing about your show I so appreciate. You're really encouraging people.
I'm doing my best.
Beautiful.
Thank
You're
you.
doing it, girl. And I
Thank
really am
you.
grateful to you. So thank you so much
Well,
for your
thanks for coming on the show.
presence. Yeah.
You guys, it's comfort and joy. It's Colette Lafia. I got chills on that one. Hope you guys will join us next time. You're gonna have to write another one, so you have to come back. You got another one planned?
Now she's motivating me. I'm letting it brew. I'm opening up.
All right.
Where
Sounds
God wants
good.
to take me. All right. Many blessings to you.
All right,
All right,
everybody. This is Nancy Yearout. This is High Road to Humanity. We will see you next time. Everybody, take care and God bless you.
Connect the dots and keep the motion. Can achieve your goal. Let's hit the high road.
Hey, you guys, join me next week on The High Road for more stories filled with wisdom, love, and hope for our future. Have a fabulous week, and know that by staying on the high road, you will make it to your destination. Visit my website, nancyyearout.com, where you can book a private session to learn how to tap into your own abilities. And check out my YouTube channel. It's Nancy Yearout's High Road to Humanity.
You can achieve your goal.